Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each personal month forecast for the month of May 2023. And this will include the forecast for the full moon as well as the new moon. And that full moon that we have at the beginning of the month on the 5th is a full moon lunar eclipse. So it's a big one. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own personal numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below, and you can get an idea for the services that I offer and what might align with your current needs. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Now, May 2023 is a 3 universal month. Okay, what that means is that basically collectively we're all going to sort of be feeling the energy of the 3. And what that could bring about is sort of more focused energy on communication, how we communicate, how we sort of share our stories, our words, right? The spoken word. We, of course, have a Mercury retrograde at the beginning of the month and through the mid-month. So, communication might be a little bit off. So where it's showing us that, where there might be some sort of glitches is sort of showing us where we might need some additional work, right? So in other words, the energy of the 3, if there's miscommunication, if there's a breakdown in communication, this energy is going to assist us in recognizing that and trying to do better, right? It's not always about how we feel we need to express ourselves, but also taking into consideration how that expression might land for others and what is more easily digestible and what isn't, right? And so if we want to get our message across, we have to take into consideration others and sort of how they receive that information, right? We don't have control over that, but we certainly have control over the intention behind our communication, our written, our spoken word. And, if that's coming from a place of vengeance or hatred or ugliness, right? Or the need to be right, that's going to land a lot differently than if it's coming from a place of an open heart and one of just genuineness, right? Like genuinely just trying to get your message across in a kind and compassionate way. So that can be coming into the forefront this month as well. This can also be a very social time. So you may see your social calendar light up this month collectively, right? Or we might collectively see that. You might see things sort of pick up, the pace pick up a bit. 3 energy is big energy. It wants to be seen and heard and experienced. So anywhere within your life where you might be making yourself small, you could see sort of this energy light that area up and ask you to step out into the spotlight a bit more, ask you to, again, express yourself in an authentic, beautiful way. That feels true for you, right? And so again, you might see the opportunities for collaboration, networking come into play. It's up to you whether you say yes to those invitations or not, but this is a great time to meet new people, meet new friends, significant others, or business partners, right? People who will help you to get your message across on a bigger platform. When we work together and work with others, we often, of course, there's greater energy behind whatever that is. And so that helps us to again, get that message out in a bigger, more expansive way. So big, big energy this month, the month of May collectively. Again, 3 energy wants to be seen, expressed, and experienced, right? So anywhere that you've been sort of making yourself small or trying to hide in the shadows, this energy is going to sort of push you outside your comfort zone a little bit so that you can be seen, so that you can share your gifts, so that you can sit, find your rightful place at the table, sit there and feel confident there, own that space. So 3 energy doesn't allow us or doesn't want us to minimize who we are. It wants us to express who we are and do that in a kind, compassionate way where we're not trying to take somebody else's spotlight away from them, because there's room on the stage for everyone. So beautiful, beautiful energy this month with that 3 energy. Again, it's what we do with it, but I love to see this. This is a very collaborative, coming together, working together, sharing ideas type of energy. And so when we can do that in a harmonious, sort of beautiful way, the rewards are great. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at each personal month and how these energies could be affecting you as we move through May. Personal month 6. If May is a personal month 6 for you, you could see an emphasis be placed on the home. So family, close-knit friends, partners, your closer community. So things that are closest to your heart, right? This 6 is the vibration of love. So the things that we love, how we receive love, how we show up to love, how we express love, all of those things. And so a lot of times it can, again, bring into the focus those people that are closest to our hearts. So you may see something surface this month around those themes. You can also see, again, because it sort of brings us back into the home, the energy of the 6, you could see themes come up this month that need your attention around the home, right? So finances associated with a home could also come into the forefront. You could start working from the home, or if you were working from the home, you could start working outside of the home. You could see people move into the home or out of the home. You could see new pets come into your life. That's also possible. You could see this month that people seem to need your attention, your nurturing, your guidance more so than normal. And then it's going to be up to you to make sure that you're setting those healthy boundaries. Do you have the capacity, emotionally, physically, to be able to meet that person where they need to meet you? Or do you need to set some boundaries and let them know that you're not available, you're not able to at this time, right? Anytime that we give or do or nurture, it needs to come from the heart space, right? It needs to come from a place of gratitude for the ability to be able to do so. So if we're doing it out of obligation or because we feel, like we need to, that creates resentment, right? And that's not coming from the heart space. And so that just serves nobody, right? So a lot of these sort of themes could be coming up. You might also notice in this cycle that truth is brought to the surface. So things that might have been hidden or that might have been swept under the carpet because we don't want to deal with them or we don't want to have those more difficult conversations, those things could be brought to light now to be dealt with. And because, again, 6 is the vibration of love. So where there's a vibration that's different from that vibration, that higher frequency, those things are going to be brought to the surface to be dealt with, to be transmuted into a higher vibration. So if there's things that you've been avoiding because, again, you didn't want to have that conversation, don't be surprised if it's like the elephant in the room, right? It shows up and it's not going to leave until it's taken care of. So that's also very possible at this time. It's also possible that you may find yourself in a situation where you need to ask for help. And so sort of the lesson in that is to show you that it's okay, it's beautiful to be able to ask for help when you need it. A lot of times humans have a hard time not only asking for help, but receiving that help. So this can be a cycle where, again, that kind of comes to the forefront. How are you about asking for the assistance that you need? How are you about receiving that graciously? So those are just some of the things that you might see kind of pop up this month. Now, you all, of course, are also working with the energy of the 3, which brings in a higher element of creativity, communication. And I think the communication piece is really going to be important for you all this month, whether that's about setting healthy boundaries and then holding those boundaries and communicating those boundaries. That's a big thing. It's like, you don't have to communicate those boundaries to people, but it certainly strengthens relationships when the communication is there, right? Or at least the attempt at the communication is there. When we just do things reactively, that sort of creates a barrier or a wall, and that's a different kind of boundary. So the 3 energy for you all could be coming in the form of, again, communication and how you express yourself and how you ask for what you need and how you let others know that, I'm sorry, I can't show up for you in that way at this time. All of those things could be kind of coming in this month for you. Now, around this full moon, so we have the full moon lunar eclipse, which again is destiny, is a fated moment, is going to put the pressure on something that needs pressure on it so that you can evolve in that area, so that you can make some shifts if you need to. We have that full moon lunar eclipse that's occurring on the 5th. For you all, this is bringing into focus the energy of the 5. And so there is definitely something here about you gaining some type of freedom, you expressing yourself in a more creative, bigger way. You, just letting people know what it is that you need and sort of being like, okay, well, if you can meet me here, great. If you can't, that's okay too. But I need to express myself. I need to not overly restrict myself type thing. You might see some things come in for you around this eclipse. Now, remember, the eclipse is a storyline. It's initiating something that you'll probably see unfold over the next 3 to 6 months to a year. But there's something here about you gaining some kind of freedom, whether that's, again, freedom from a connection, freedom from, thoughts that are holding you back or mindsets that are holding you back, or freedom from a dead-end job, whatever the case may be. It could potentially be something unconventional that comes in for you, something that's outside the box, something that pushes you outside your own comfort zone. Breaking those barriers, right? So that could very much come in, doing things a little bit differently, expressing yourself in a bigger, more freeing way. That's very much highlighted around this eclipse. So if there's any area within your life where you're overly restricted or restrict yourself, right? Have imposed this sort of self-imposed prison on yourself. You might see those walls sort of crumble now, and then you might just be left standing there like, okay, now what do I do? And so 5 energy has the potential, and often will, bring in some kind of massive transformation, massive awakening, massive understanding about something. And with it being under the light of the eclipse, there's absolutely some kind of belief system or mindset or relationship or something that needs to be eclipsed out so that you can step into your power more, so that you can express yourself more freely, so that you can live more freely in some way. And because you're in a 6th cycle, it probably is going to have to do with something based or themed around the home or deeper relationships, right? Deeper connections, or how you, again, express your needs or your boundaries type thing. That could very much come in under this 5 energy. Just know that with an eclipse happening under 5 energy, just expect the unexpected. Go with the flow. Be open to what presents itself to you and how can you adapt to it. 5 energy is always going to ask you to be adaptable. It's always going to ask you to sort of, again, see things from a different perspective. And when we're able to do that, then it creates a shift, right? And so again, with this occurring on an eclipse, I just expect there to be major shifts, major awakenings, major clarity, major aha moments, these lightning bolt moments of clarity that once you have that clarity, you then, you can't unsee it. So you're going to be forced to sort of do something about it or do something differently so that you can get a different experience if it's one that's not working, right? And again, because you're in a 6th cycle, I expect it to be somewhere around those themes, right? So very powerful full moon for you all, eclipse, right? Lunar eclipse for you all. And remember, it doesn't necessarily have to come in very quickly. Although 5 energy is very fast moving energy. So I expect that you will probably see or feel like you're being sort of picked up and sort of move forward in an accelerated pace with like aha moments coming in left, right, and center type thing. And like, what are you going to do with them type thing? And again, adaptability, surrender, go with the flow, try not to overly control or force things during this time. Just see what the energy is trying to show you. And then how can you work with it? That's going to make this experience the most comfortable. If there are relationships that are close to your heart that are not working and you know they're not working, expect there to be major transformations within that connection, whether that's like, that connection is eclipsed out through, again, these are eclipse moments are non-negotiable. Again, they're fated, they're destined. So if something is eclipsed out of your life during the next 3 to 6 months, just know that is serving you in a higher way, right? And sometimes this happens when we were not, the ego us was not able to sort of pull the plug on whatever that was. And so the universe steps in and it's like, okay, we're taking control of the situation to move you forward because you're stuck. So that's very, very possible. So don't be surprised with that. And if you're thinking about something as I'm talking and you're like, oh gosh, I know that's what it is, it's very likely that that's what you'll see some kind of transformation with or some kind of change, right? So try to move with that the best of your ability to know that it's happening with, all your support system, all your guides, all your angels sort of lifting you up to assist, right? So beautiful, beautiful energy, although it can feel sort of disorienting when you're in it, but just be aware of that. Now, the new moon that's happening on the 19th or the 20th, depending on where you live, for you all is bringing in the energy of the 1 and the 2. Now, what's significant about this? Again, new moons, new opportunities, new starts, new ideas, new initiations. What's interesting about the 1 and the 2 kind of coming together is 1 energy is self. It's about the ego. It's about identity. It's about autonomy and independence. And the 2 is about relationships, relating, coming together, balance, merging, healing a connection type thing. So it is very possible that you are going to be asked at this new moon to find your balance between the 2. Are you losing yourself in relationships? Are you overgiving? Are you undergiving? Are you overtaking, right? Like it just, however it shows up in your connection. But there's something here that's asking you to look at both sides, right? Like your side, the other side. How can you meet in the middle? How can you maintain your own autonomy and your own independence and your own voice within the connection that you have with others? This does not have to only be about romantic connections. This is with children, with family, with friends, with colleagues, with bosses, with the people that you meet just on the street type thing. How can you be independent, assertive, use your voice, stand in your power, confident, own your space, while also creating space, seeing other people's point of views, how you communicate, being the observer, not getting overly attached to a situation, not being overly reactive. A lot coming in under this, right? So again, you all being in a 6 cycle with all this transformative energy of the eclipse, and then having the 1 and the 2 energy come in, I just expect there to be a lot around the themes of relating to others, connection with others, not losing yourself in those connections, like owning your space while also honoring the space of others type thing. So potentially could be a lot that kind of comes in for you all this month around that and in the months to follow, because again, this is all happening under the light of an eclipse. So could be intense, but remember, wherever it's leading you to is meant to lead you towards something healthier, something more stable, something more of a higher octave. So incredibly beautiful, although I think this could very much be a very transformative period for you all around those themes. So sending you love and light as you move through this energy, but just know that it's taking you where you need to be. Okay? So I hope it's a beautiful month for you all. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.